So come on, Larken, you can't be against Trump ending the Department of Education. Come on. You have to applaud that. Well, if it was that, that would be good. It's not. So a lot of people are doing the wishful thinking game and imagining that Trump just ended federal interference or control of education and sent that back to the states, which that would be cool. I mean, in the grand scheme of authoritarian crap, still kind of tiny, but okay, yeah, stop meddling in that. That's not what he's doing. That's not what happened. First of all, for those who have never read the Constitution, no, the president cannot, by executive order, erase a federal department. That's not how anything works. Congress would have to do that. So right off the bat, you have the game that politicians always do of coming out loudly and saying, I'm in favor of this thing happening. Okay, is it up to you whether it happens? No, but everyone's going to believe that I really want that to happen. And then if it doesn't, I still get credit for it because I said I wanted to do that. So whether or not Congress is going to do anything about this remains to be seen. Trump can't do shit. An executive order can't erase a department. Nonetheless, okay, the general idea, getting federal tentacles out of the education system, indoctrination system, okay, I'd be all in favor of that. Trump isn't. That's not what he's even trying to do. Never mind that nothing actually happened and we have to wait and see what Congress actually does. President has no power to do anything. That's not what he's trying to do. Now, I saw this video, and the first thing I thought is, was that fake? Is this like AI? So I looked it up. No, this is real. If you think Trump's goal is get federal tentacles out of education, they have no business doing anything of the sort under 9th and 10th Amendment. This is not a federal matter in any way, shape, or form. The Fed shouldn't be doing anything related to that. If you thought that that's what he believes, check this out. Now, I found this version of the video. I'm not even sure what the thing on top of it is, but I'm going to show you the one I found. Listen carefully. Here we go.
Announcing today we will take the billions and billions of dollars that we will collect by taxing, fining, and suing excessively large private university endowments.
What? First of all, just never mind what comes next. Trump is saying whatever plan he's about to describe, he's going to fund it by just stealing, using the violence of government to steal private endowments from private universities. Just steal it. By taxing, fining, and suing, using the violence of the state to just steal a pile of money that isn't his. Just dictator style. Well, yeah, we'll pretend it's legal. We're going to tax them and fine them and steal their money. Wow, so much for not having the feds having power over this. Starting off by just blatant theft under the guise of legality. Sue them for what? How dare those people give money to those people? We, the government, know better. We're going to come in and just steal, by his own words, billions and billions of dollars by way of taxing, fines, and suing them. Just private donations to universities. Holy crap. Do any Trumpites want to go, that's bad, I don't like this. That's not what I voted for. Just blatant dictatorial, outright theft. Barely even the guise of pretending it's illegal. We're going to fund my master plan by just stealing private money from private organizations. You're an authoritarian piece of shit. And anybody going rah, rah, rah for this, or just quietly not mentioning it because you don't want to admit what your political savior is, wow, that's bad. So that first part is what made me think he wouldn't really come out and say that, would he? He did. Okay, so now let's hear his awesome plan, which will be funded by just blatant theft of private funds from private organizations, which is just awesome. Make America great again by having the ruling class steal billions of dollars from private organizations. What could possibly go wrong? Anyway, now that we have the completely authoritarian, insane, unconstitutional way he's going to fund this, he says, let's hear his awesome plan.
And we will then use that money to endow a new institution called the American Academy.
So you're going to have the government create something called the American Academy. Oh, the federal government, by the way. So not getting government out of education, not getting its tentacles out of the indoctrination/propaganda, just doing it in a different way by stealing more money from private institutions. Okay, what's this American Academy?
Its mission will be to make a truly world-class education available to every American, free of charge, and do it without...
Wow, now he's Bernie Sanders. Free of charge, we're gonna steal billions of dollars from private companies and then make the Khan Academy. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It's actually free, and it wasn't made with billions of dollars stolen from private industry. It already exists. It's already really awesome. If you haven't heard of it, look up the Khan Academy. Why do we need another one? Why do we need federal government controlling this? Why do we need federal government stealing billions of dollars to fund what already exists? But don't worry, we're going to do it without
adding a single dime to the federal debt.
Yeah, because we're just going to steal billions and billions of dollars from private industry to fund this American Academy. Instead of just having people go to Khan Academy, which already exists, for free, not funded by mass extortion, and not controlled by the federal government.
This institution will gather an entire universe of the highest quality educational content covering the full spectrum of human knowledge and skills.
So the Khan Academy, only controlled by government and paid for with stolen loot.
And make that material available to every American citizen online for free.
So the Khan Academy, only controlled by government and funded by mass theft. By the way, have you noticed this is Trump directly trying to hijack the Bernie Sanders, the Democrat thing of free education for all, but the way I'm doing it, with massive stolen loot controlled by the federal government, for some reason is good. That doesn't count. That's not meddling. That's not bad, because Trump's doing it, right? Okay, so authoritarian-controlled, theft-funded version of the Khan Academy, which, if it's run by the government, will be absolute shit compared to Khan Academy.
Whether you want lectures or ancient histories or an introduction to financial accounting or training in a skilled trade, the goal will be to deliver it and get it done properly. Using study groups, mentors, industry partnerships, and the latest breakthrough in computing.
Computing, he says the word like he's never heard it before. By the way, this is also just YouTube. You can look up all of that stuff. Anyway, let's hear about his government-controlled, violently funded, free education for everyone.
This will be a truly top-tier education option for the people. It will be strictly non-political.
It will be strictly non-political. If you believe that, you're a fucking idiot. If you believe the federal government is going to create an education system free for all and isn't going to try to use it to influence what people think, you're just a moron. But don't worry, he says it's going to be non-political, and we can trust the Orange Fuhrer.
And there will be no wokeness or jihadism allowed.
He didn't even wait for the next fucking sentence. It will be non-political, and nobody will be able to talk about things I don't like. Trumpites, are you this dumb? Can he say it in the same sentence without you noticing? Now, a bunch of stuff that's labeled wokeness is stupid. Jihadism is stupid. But the control of the ability for people to say what they think is even more stupid. letting the government control, oh, we're not going to have that stuff that I don't like. We're going to have the stuff I do like. First of all, you're an idiot if you support any government authoritarian control of information. Second of all, do you think Trump is going to be in power forever? Or in 2 seconds, will there be a puppet crook from the other party who will then control the American Academy, which will probably never happen anyway? It's probably another bogus promise. But even his bogus promises are insane and authoritarian and unconstitutional and bonkers and Orwellian. It won't be political, but you won't be allowed to say the things I don't like. Come on, people. No wokeness or jihadism allowed. By the way, you know what else won't be allowed? Saying that the psychopaths who run the ruling class in Israel are a bunch of warmongering freaks, guilty of all sorts of war crimes, and talking about resisting the thugs who enforce the will of power-happy dipshits like this, and power-happy dipshits on the left. You can bet they're not going to be talking about that. There's not going to be an open discussion about that on American Academy. So, just a minute. It won't be political, but you're only allowed to talk about things I like.
None of that's going to be allowed.
Just... No one's allowed to talk about things I don't like, but it won't be political.
Most importantly, the American Academy will compete directly with the existing and very costly four-year university system by granting students degree credentials that the U.S. government and all federal contractors will henceforth recognize.
That's the end. So an indoctrination system owned and controlled by the federal government, it won't be political, you just can't talk about things that the ruling class doesn't want you to talk about. And you thought he was handing off control of education to the states and to the people? You thought Trump was going to give up the tentacles of control in education that the feds already have? Have you not noticed he was already using federal funding to say, any university who does these things I don't like won't get federal funding. You have to jump through these hoops to get federal funding. Now, in that case, he's talking about something dumb that nobody should be teaching anyway, or allowing anyway, but he's absolutely trying to control the education system from the federal government by way of bribes. We'll give you a pile of free money as long as you don't talk about this and this, and as long as you talk about that and that, and as long as you jump through these hoops and do this. He doesn't want to give up power and control. He's Donald Trump. He doesn't want to give up power and control over anything ever. He thinks he should be in charge of absolutely every aspect of everybody's lives and pretend that's freedom and making America great again. So yeah, if you're going rah, rah, rah about the end of the Department of Education, good, that shouldn't be there. But if you think that Trump is trying to give up control over the indoctrination system, you're not paying attention. So, can't wait to hear the Trumpites' excuse for why this version of Bernie's free college for all, funded and controlled by an authoritarian centralized ruling class, this is great when they do it. Now the 9th and 10th Amendments, screw that. Now the feds should be involved in education. And by education, we mean strictly controlled propaganda and indoctrination. Okay, so what's your excuse this time, Trumpites? Or do any of you want to say, okay, yeah, that's not at all what we want, that's bad? Do any of you have enough of a spine to say, that's bad, that's really bad, that's the opposite of what he's pretending to do with I'm ending the Department of Education, and by ending it, I mean changing the name of some things, but totally hanging on to control of the propaganda machine. Every time you're tempted to cheer for some new Trump plan, first, Figure out if there's any chance of it actually happening, because cheering for more empty promises from this lying scumbag kind of makes you a gullible twit. Second of all, if there's any prayer of it happening, make sure you know what it actually is. Don't take his word for it. When this power-happy clown says, oh, it'll give more freedom, it'll give you more free stuff, it'll be super great for everybody. It will be authoritarian control, exactly the way the left does. Well, different flavor, but it'll be exactly as much authoritarian control as they want. It'll just be the right-wing version of that. Stop. Almost everything Trumpites cheer for are things that are never going to happen. Like, we're going to abolish the IRS. No, you're not. We're going to end taxes on anyone under $150,000. No, you're not. I mean, they haven't even yet gotten around to not taxing tips and Social Security, this little trivial thing. They haven't even accomplished that. He said he did. They lied about it. They made a big show. They haven't even done that. You think they're making the IRS disappear? But there people are cheering for things that'll either never happen or they don't really know what's being done, and they're cheering for something which is not an improvement. It's just rearranging and relabeling authoritarian bullshit. And that is all Trump will ever be and all he will ever do. Stop falling for that.